I think. All right. So I guess everyone can authorize the recording. And all right, so I'm calling the meeting to order. It is 6:33. And we are ready to approve the agenda. If someone could please move to approve it, but I would like to.
Lizzie, do you want to just share the screen or do you want me to?
Oh, please do share the screen, Laura.
Okay.
Thank you. And I would like to ask if we could,
so sorry, it's gonna take me just a moment here because I
sure.
didn't shut anything down.
Yes, in the meantime, I could ask, I had allocated 15 minutes to discuss the final approval of our mission statement, but I'm hoping that this is the third draft already, and I'm really hoping that this will be the final version. So maybe spend less time on it, and also on Laura's item, the welcome home packet. Maybe if we could try to shorten it to 5 minutes, because I have two owners of stewards of Little Free Libraries with us tonight. So I would really like to spend more time starting the conversation with them, if that is okay with everyone. So hopefully we can speed up the agenda items, move them along faster. And also, oh, Rosie. Okay, I just allowed Rosie in the room. Hi, Rosie.
Hi.
All right, so would someone please move to approve the agenda and second it as well?
I'll move to approve the agenda.
Thank you. Nigel moves, and who seconds?
I second.
All right, Rosie, and Rosie seconds. All right. Everyone in favor, would you please raise your hand or say aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Aye in favor. Laura?
Aye.
I have my hand up. Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I think everyone.
And would you like me to stop the share?
Yes, please. So next item in the agenda, thank you very much, is the comments, public comments and announcements for non-agenda items. Please allocate 2 minutes for your comments. Yes, Laura.
Oh, well, mine's much shorter than that. Word just went out and a Facebook post just went out that we have to start wearing masks again at midnight on Saturday. Lizzie, I don't know how to share the post with you personally so that you can share on UNNC. So I can share it to Jefferson Park, or did you get that same notification? But I think we should share it, that's all.
Yes.
So you don't I know you can't respond, but I'm just giving you a heads up. I've shared it to West Ham's Heritage, but I can't share to UNNC.
Yes, and I will admit Dolores. She's now connecting. All right.
That's my only comment.
Yes, thank you, Laura. Anybody else who would like to make a comment or an announcement? Okay, I think we're good then. Move on. Introductions from everyone who's present tonight. So please introduce yourselves. I will let maybe state your name, why you are here, and where you live would be great, which neighborhood you are from. So let's start with Nigel, please.
Sure. My name is Nigel. I've lived in this neighborhood for I've moved back now into this neighborhood, but I've been here for over 10 years. I am here because Lizzie reminded me there was a meeting today about the free little libraries, which we own one in front of our house. And we're in the Jefferson Park neighborhood, 28th in Arlington.
Mhm. Thank you so much, Nigel. Let's see, Rosie.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rosie Brown. I live in Jefferson Park. I was on the neighborhood council for 5.5 years. I was also chairperson of the outreach committee, along with the chairperson of a few others while my tenure on the board. And I know it's important to get information out to our stakeholders of what's happening in the neighborhood, what's happening with the city, because a lot of them don't have a clue of what's going on, and there's a lot of issues that they really should be aware of, chime in on. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Anne, would you like to introduce yourself? I know you'll probably be going in and out, which is totally fine. I will, give you an update if necessary, but please do introduce yourself.
Sounds good. I'm Ann Zumwinkle. I assist with the UNNC.org website. And Lizzie invited me because I also have a little free library. We've had it up for about 5 years or so, except the last maybe 15 months it's been down. We just simply didn't want to take the risk because I watch over a couple neighbors that have turned out to be, not only are they very old, but they're COVID positive, et cetera. So but I also work with the Santa Monica Public Library. So we get tons of books. And Nigel, I just dropped off a big batch of books over at your place like last month or two, right?
Yeah, now they're all gone. So if you've
yeah.
got
Okay, I guess I'll be over soon. I'll bring my sanitizer and I'll bring a batch of books on over. But we'll talk about process later on and hopefully during this discussion. And I'm in Arlington Heights on Cimarron between Venice and Washington.
Yes. Thank you so much. Dolores, welcome.
Hi, everyone. Dolores Spears here. Former member of the board for approximately 7 years. And I too was at one time chair of the outreach committee. And now I'm back as a newly elected board member. And I'm still interested in outreach. And my main interest in that area is to figure out a way to get information out to our stakeholders that are not computer savvy, and some of our seniors who have no intention of trying to learn how to be savvy. So to get information out to others besides through social media and email.
Thank you so much, Dolores. And let's see who else. Dorit, please.
Hey everybody, I'm in Sugar Hill. I have been in this community, I've lived in this house for 2 years and 3 days. So I'm probably one of the newest members. I've been on the neighborhood council for maybe 16 or 17 months. I came to this meeting today because Liz asked me, and I adore Lizzie, but I'm interested in the welcome home bags we're going to do, just because I have some experience with that population. I would love to do a tiny library because we have so many books that we get donated to us that I bring them to other people's tiny libraries. We get a lot of kids books, especially things like how to write graphic novels and just reading, kid appropriate type of graphic novels. So it'd be really super cool to have one of those in front of our house.
Yes.
I'm also the chair of the Rec and Parks Committee. And thank you guys.
Yes. Thank you so much, Dorit. Last, but no, not last, because I'll probably be the last one, but Laura, please.
Yes, hi, everybody. So I'm Laura Myers. I am tonight your Zoom host. I am currently the UNNC president, and I live in Angeles Vista. And I'm sorry to say, so do you. You live in Angeles Vista, not Arlington Heights.
Did I say Arlington Heights?
You did. Ann and I are neighbors.
I'll be honest, I don't know exactly where the The line is
Our
the linear.
Arlington itself is the line. So,
Ah,
but anyway, we're neighbors. We're both in, I mean, both Arlington Heights and Angeles Vista would be UNNC's Area 1. And somebody is pounding on the front door. So I'm gonna take this moment to walk off for a sec and see who's pounding on. No, I'm just not going far, just to the door.
Yes. Thank you so much, Laura. So yes, I guess no one else needs to be introduced to introduce themselves. My name is Lizzie Moromisato. I think everyone knows me by now. I have lived in Jefferson Park for almost 31 years now. We moved in 1990 with my family. And I've been on the board since 2015. So 5 years going on 6. And I'm currently the chair of the outreach committee. I'm also one of 4 representatives of Jefferson Park within the UNNC. And so welcome everyone. Thank you so much for attending. I think this is the best attended outreach meeting so far. It's only the 3rd one. So we've been in hiatus, but we never went away. We just switched hats and concentrated our efforts in managing the helping out with the elections, the neighborhood council elections that was just finalized very recently. We will have a newly formed board. Dolores is coming back to work with us in the coming weeks. So welcome everyone, and very, very happy to renew our outreach efforts. So on that note, we have the mission statement to approve. We've been working on that, having all types of conversations and discussions, and I think we are ready to approve it if possible. So Laura, would you please upload that document?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
And again, sorry, give me a moment because now I have to go find it. I opened it, but I have to find it. Oh,
Yes.
Found it easy, so that's good.
So the mission statement is comprised of the mission statement, our vision, and goals. And since
Are you able to see it?
I am,
Okay.
the first half at least. So I guess I will very quickly try to read through it. Again, we have had conversations prior to tonight on the content. So let me read it for you. Mission statement. Our mission is to empower our stakeholders and the community at large by 1, facilitating information and access to city services, issues, and events within the UNNC footprint. 2, keeping them engaged and included. 3, encouraging their involvement. Additionally, the outreach committee shall support UNNC, its committees, and its stakeholders in their efforts to improve the quality of life in our community. Vision. Our vision for the long term is to have an ongoing promotion and visibility of the UNNC and city services among all stakeholders. Also, establish solid relationships with various groups in the community, such as neighborhood associations, block clubs, nonprofit organizations, businesses, little free libraries, etc. Lastly, identify stakeholders' needs and their diversity. So we want to be as inclusive as possible. So include homeowners, renters, business owners, someone who works here or holds some type of interest in the community, could be financial or otherwise. We also include our neighbors who are experiencing homelessness, the formerly incarcerated, religious and spiritual congregation members, students, I'm sorry, I need to add an S, in our local schools and their families. Goals. And these are ongoing goals. Maybe at the very beginning of the UNNC, we had it, we expressed for the future, our future goals would be, but these are ongoing, to promote awareness of the UNNC via distribution of promotional materials, canvassing, and social media. To establish an ongoing general schedule of events created by UNNC or attended by the Neighborhood Council at the beginning of each fiscal year, to coordinate the participation and promotion of the UNNC in community events and activities in collaboration with other UNNC standing committees, to distribute promotional and informational materials with transparency and reducing carbon footprint as much as possible. So this is our one-page mission statement, and we may open up for discussion at this point or questions.
Okay, so Lizzie, I've reduced this on my side to 75%. Can you still read it at all?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Could I ask this is beautiful and it's simple, but powerful, and it's one page, which is just seriously awesome. Could we add under stakeholders? I know we've added a lot of folks, but something about persons who are undocumented. I don't know if that's in there or not, because now it's really tiny and I can't see.
Yes, of course.
Maybe right with the word
My
immigrant.
mistake, I should have, because that was a crucial effort of the last neighborhood council meetings elections to include all kinds of voters regardless of citizenship status. So yes, by all means, thank you so much. So,
Are you looking for the wording, or you're going to take care of wording? Because
no, I will just add undocumented. Laura,
thank you.
would you be able to edit, please, like you did the last time?
Well, let me see, because you did this as a PDF, but let me see.
Oh, that's true.
No,
That's
no,
okay.
I might be able, hang on, because I have software, so I might be able to.
I
Yes.
think for the sake of
Yeah, I can do it. So,
so just add the undocumented
well, do you want to, oops.
residents.
Yeah, no, first I need to find a font.
It was Arial.
No, I have to find a font in this program that I can use. Sorry.
You know what, since Lizzie wanted to spend a lot of time on the library things, maybe we just make a note and let Lizzie do it later.
Yes, I can totally do that. Undocumented, and then just some typos there that I found.
Do we have to say undocumented? Can we say stakeholders regardless of their immigration status or something like that?
Yeah, something like, citizens from any, something like that. That doesn't sound as harsh, but undocumented is definitely the thought.
Yes. And
Here we go. How about regardless?
And let's consider also the fact that undocumented used to be illegal aliens, which as someone who was formerly an undocumented person be considered illegal was pretty hurtful back then.
I honestly think we should spend more time than just this second. So maybe if Lizzie, if you want to reach out to somebody to help you figure out the words or to work with it, but I definitely think we should move on, because the crafting of this is going to be delicate.
Yes.
Okay, so
All right.
Laura's raising her hand. Not well, but I've just made a note, Lizzie. I'll send this back to you. You see it, it's in red. You'll craft the phraseology, but is there anything else that anyone else wants me to make a note on this about? Any other category?
Are we good on the rest of the document? Okay, I think. All right. So I will be sure to make that addition, and could we, I will use the language used in the neighborhood council elections, which was pretty safe. And by doing so, I would like to, if possible, to get an approval on the mission statement at this moment. And you have my word that I will copy that exact same language.
I make a motion to approve the mission statement with the one correction.
Thank you.
And I'll
Anyone who would like to second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, I think I heard, was Nigel the first one to
Sure.
second it? Okay, thank you. All right. So it is approved. Thank you so much. Next item, UNNC participation in the Welcome Home grand opening for the Gramercy Apartments Senior Affordable Housing Project. Tentative date, Monday, August the 30th. UNNC materials for the neighbor welcome baskets and or totes. So discussion and action. So Laura, would you please go ahead?
Yes, so this Gramercy Apartments is the large new complex on Washington between Wilton Place and Gramercy Place. It's 64 apartments. 2 are for on-site management. The remaining are divided in half. Half are senior affordable housing with an application period that ended December 1st. And the other half are formerly homeless seniors, and that I think is still ongoing as to how people move in. The move-ins are actually beginning now, but there's in effect a ribbon cutting. I don't know if there will be a ribbon. It's cutting actual ribbon on August 30th with social distancing. The council member is expected to be in attendance, and there's a group of us who've been meeting on Zoom representing neighbors, the city council, LA, the supervisor's office, several of the different housing entities that are helping fill the building, obviously the owner, which is Hollywood Community Foundation, and to do the planning. So one of the things that's planned is that the council office is providing tote bags, and we're putting things into the tote bags. So things, it's like a welcome to the neighborhood, not welcome home, but also welcome to the neighborhood. So among those things will be flyers or information sheets for the senior meal program at the firehouse. We're hoping to have some voucher coupons from World Harvest, possibly. We're trying to be mindful of where the active seniors might shop to see if we can get some other like coupons for local businesses. And from UNNC, what I'm hoping is that we can provide at minimum the refrigerator magnets that we have with the city services on it, and any other materials that will essentially welcome them to the neighborhood. So I don't think what we're looking for are like pens. I don't see a particular reason for that. And again, these other organizations are also coming up with things to put in the bags. So the event itself, if there is an in-person event in the end, because again, this COVID is not predictable. But the event itself would be some of the funders would be speaking, and Mark would be speaking, Mark Ridley Thomas. And it would be not dissimilar from the event a couple of years ago that was the groundbreaking. So that was held actually across the street and in the street at Amazing Grace Conservatory. So we're reaching out to both Amazing Grace and to the, I am so sorry, the new dance academy that's under construction, and I am just so losing it, Norm Nixon and his wife, Debbie Allen, to see, if we can do that, if we can have performance, but we, now we just don't know. But the idea is that the people who would gather might be on all the levels, because there's not just a outdoor plaza that you can see from the street, but there's an indoor plaza, and then essentially up and down all the stories, there's open spaces. And so we might be spreading people out quite a bit. So that's that. And I'm saying we, as a person who's participating in the planning, of this event. I am not sure UNNC would be asked to speak. In fact, I'm almost sure we won't.
Mhm.
So,
All right, thank you so much. So I guess at this point, do we need, we can open this up for discussion. Dorit, maybe you have any comment?
Dolores's hand was up before
Oh,
mine.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at the agenda and yes.
Uh,
Dolores, go ahead, please.
For things to go in the basket, have you thought about contacting the Department of Aging in the city and to see if they have anything that might be helpful?
yes, but a different person's doing that. But yes, that's on the list.
Okay, Dorit now?
So we're gonna use UNNC totes for this. Are we gonna, no? Okay. Is it too late now to think about UNNC doing some funding for this? Or is that, no, because it goes to private people, we couldn't. Okay, never mind. So it'd be really lovely if we could use the totes, but I guess we don't have enough left over.
That is correct.
Okay.
We supposedly had some, but we lost them. In
It's
the
understandable. Things like that happen. We don't go to our storage for a while.
Mhm.
There's a couple other things that should be in there, like, advising people to stay in touch with their case manager, because there are people who are formerly homeless and even the seniors. There's a refrigerator magnet that was put out by a group called Hopics, which is in UNNC's footprint, but on the other side of Washington. So I might reach out to them to see if they have any more of those refrigerator and magnets to tell people who are on the streets, to remind them that if they get into trouble or if they're feeling anxious, to call their service provider or call their case manager. So I will reach out and see if we can get a hold of some of those magnets, if nobody minds me doing that.
No.
I don't want to be pushing.
Please.
Okay, Rosie.
Yes. I don't know if we can do it here offline. Were the bags I was speaking of that was at the firehouse. I'm not sure if you guys ever got into there, but that's where quite a few bags there. And two, have you thought, this is trying to figure out what we're going to do and put in the bags. I was thinking maybe something from Department of Vehicles, such as, how to get an ID card, especially the real ID. Some seniors are still getting around. There's information there about vision. Some people who want to get their license back, or they can't get a license because of vision, but they do have a couple of pamphlets that may be helpful to the seniors. And they do have a senior omnibus person also who does go out and speak to seniors, so you may want to contact them also.
Okay, I'm writing this down.
Can I follow up with what Rosie just said, please? Tori, at her last committee meeting, had that representative from the DMV that deals with seniors. So, Rosie might have already known that, so sorry if I'm stepping on you. But maybe you can contact Tori to see about getting some of that information that Rosie was just talking about.
Yeah, that gal was great.
Great.
Do you remember, Dory, did she put her contact info in the chat? I'm trying to remember.
I did not make it to that meeting, but if you text Tori, don't even think about emailing, but if you text Tori, she will get back to you.
Okay.
And she likes to share.
Lizzie, should I address what Rosie said about the firehouse?
Briefly. I'd rather I will update her offline.
Okay.
Fine.
Yes, I think it is not relevant at this point. We are
Okay.
not handing out totes. We don't have them. I will explain later, Rosie. Are we ready to take action on this item? And what kind of action do we need to
Right.
take?
And that's my real
Oh.
question.
Yes.
Well, that is, I mean, that's truly my question. And this is really generic, and I think both Dolores and Rosie would know how we've done it in the past. Does the UNNC board need to vote each and every time we take existing materials and participate in some place we've been invited to participate in, where we're not the funder, we're not the sponsor, and in this case, it may be that the only thing we're literally adding to the bags would be of our own would be the refrigerator magnet. So what has been in the past the pattern? Because Lizzie and I don't know.
If I could interject, what I recall is that maybe when the president, who is constantly receiving requests from for all kinds of things, attending events, write a letter of support, etc., have a presence at some of these events, maybe the president's report section of the agenda of the meeting, of the governing board meeting, was used to make these type of announcements. However, in very recent months, because the meetings have been so long, we have tabled these president reports, the approval of minutes. We haven't had minutes. So all kinds of things have been tabled month and month, month after month. So maybe this is why something like this just fell through the cracks. So
Correct.
I think,
But I still,
a suggestion would be to maybe make sure that we have a proper president's report where these kinds of news can be announced.
Mhm.
That is my,
Rosie's hand is up.
yes. Rosie, go ahead.
Yeah, kind of like what you were saying, there were times when at the meeting, the president would say, such and such organization has requested our presence at this event. And that's when I would have to get volunteers
right.
to come and help, at that booth.
Mhm.
Like we did Walk on Washington, we did, what is it when they close the streets to have the bicycles and all that?
Cyclavia.
Olivia. Yes.
Things like Cyclavia, and then that also that program that they had at the police station that was on Venice. So those were not UNNC sponsored events. There was somebody else's event, but I had to get people to come out and help man the booth.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, okay, as to the original question,
Thank you.
as far as I can hear from the discussion, UNNC is not donating any or contributing any funding. So there's really, I don't see anything that you have to vote on. Participating in the event is just part of outreach.
Okay. And Dolores, do you think, I mean, I'm just sort of making this up because honestly, there's not a lot of events coming forward right now. But when we did, for example, Taste of Soul, it's just the question is, if we're invited to sit at a table by somebody else, where we're not, again, not donating money and not co-sponsoring an event, and there's no materials going out from the event itself with our logo on it. So in other words, we're just saying, hey, there's room at the table, come sit, and then we hand out things. Does the board vote on that? Or is that just like Rosie just said, I think considered generically, that's what we do, it's outreach.
Right. I don't recall having to vote on whether we were going to participate in the Taste of Soul or the fire station thing, only if we were contributing and supporting. But I mean, it's supporting in the sense that we're giving some kind of monetary funding. But to just go to where we were invited, we would go and set up the tent and spread out our little documents that we wanted to hand out or whatever. But that did not require a vote. And I think Rosie can back me up on that. We just went, and Rosie would ask for volunteers, and it was the usual suspects, and we would just go. Only when, of course, we had to notify the board that we were participating in the event, but it didn't require a vote to participate.
Got it.
So
Thank you.
that's my recollection as well. So I think as long as we communicate to the board in advance that we have been invited and we're planning to attend and that we need volunteers and what we are going to be offering them from what we have from our outreach materials, I think we should be fine.
Right.
So for this specific item, we can just leave it at that, if that's okay with everyone.
Yep, with me.
Yes, okay. Thank you.
Great.
Moving on.
Thank you,
So
everyone.
thank you. Thank you, Laura. So now suggestions for future UNNC outreach events. And so there were two items that have been kind of being thought about. We have had maybe very brief initial conversations in other committee meetings. So the first one, some type of door-to-door outreach. In the communications committee meeting, we talked about maybe low-tech, doing some type of low-tech outreach. I know that Dolores had, Rahim said that Dolores had expressed such a concern to Rahim, but I think we need to address this in outreach committee, and not that we haven't been thinking about that, but we have to be very aware of the fact that our budget has been tremendously slashed. Using the U.S. Postal Service to distribute materials is totally prohibitive, too costly. Same thing with what is it called? The doorman.
Oh, yeah.
Walking man.
Walkman.
Walking man services, same thing. So at this point, I think we need to find out some creative ways to spread the word. I don't know, maybe using block captains, a small neighborhood association meetings, and try to establish some type of communications or material distribution. But also going on to the second item in this item, sorry for the redundancy, was also that little free libraries do not only promote literacy, but are also, because of being in a physical location throughout the footprint, the UNNC footprint. I thought they would be ideal places to post, to display our materials. And I was thinking maybe Nigel, and maybe you can share your feedback on this suggestion, but I've been looking at acrylic material holders that maybe could be glued on or maybe mounted on one side of the actual library, and we would provide the acrylic display. Could be maybe as small as something just to hold a bunch of postcards, like the ones that we printed for the elections. And maybe, of course, they're acrylic, transparent, and we could order to print our logo in it. And we could maybe even have maybe something that could display 2 sets of materials, so maybe you could be free to insert your own materials. I know that some little free libraries are also sharing seeds or some type of postcards, maybe small artwork. So, I mean, the possibilities are endless. So I thought this might be a creative, low-cost way to have some type of outreach, to have some type of physical outreach materials within the footprint. And I would love to hear your feedback from everyone, actually. And there was another thought after that, but I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. So, but I would like to hear the feedback.
Well, I'll chime in just to say that in the Little Free Library community, there's kind of a fine line between something that's promotional and something that's reading materials or materials that are shareable, such as you mentioned, seeds, artwork, food, right? The other Little Free Libraries that have been turned into other items are things that are shareable by the community. A promotional item is something that's kind of one way. It's going from a source, whether it's, whether I pulled out a bunch of real estate postcards and or tons of religious materials. I mean, anything that's one way in which the person who's putting it into my library has an agenda that I don't kind of agree with. I mean, there's other agendas that go on. Then there's this, again, a fine line in which I think it's no longer the give and take concept of Little Free Libraries, initial concept.
All right. Thank you.
Laura has a question?
Yes, I think Laura is raising her hand. Yes.
Yes. So Anne, for example, UNNC's environmental committee has been talking about either potting little seedlings of the monarch butterfly plant. I'm forgetting what it's called, but the little plants that attract monarch butterflies, because we want more of them. So but to what you just said, if instead it was seed packets that happen to have our logo on it, but it's the same plant, but it's the packets, would that be okay? Or is it the logo that's the problem? I don't know if we have the money for seed packets either. So I'm just trying to.
That's a great idea. I mean, actually, that's a great marketing tactic because you are giving something away for free. But then you'd have to find out whether the library steward wants to accept anything other than books. And the same thing's true with the brochure holder. And the brochure holder sounds even more one way and promotional, rather than having, a neighbor child have a brochure that they're going to put, because the whole concept of give a book, take a book, or, kind of falls by the wayside. But seeds are a little different because you're giving something away. I actually put a lot of objects in mine for kids because we're on the way to Carson Gore Elementary School, and always pencils and papers and things like that too, not expecting a return, but those aren't branded promotional. So they're really gifts, right? So if it's a gift as opposed to a promotional item, I think a steward would be more apt to retain that idea. And I love the idea of seeds. In fact, I have a big batch of poppy seeds I got to get rid of at some point. So within this season, it'd be kind of fun to put together a little packet, which I've done in the past. I've created little packets to give out. But that is a whole branding exercise, right, for communications team to think through. Anyway, those are my thoughts. That again, there's kind of like this. I think you can't make it look too promotional, or then it becomes too self-serving, and someone won't pick it up. It's again like a religious tract. I mean, they're gone out of my Little Free Library. I just wipe them out, throw them away. So.
So I think the conflation between religion and neighborhood service, I think that's a little stretched as far as what we're trying to promote. I think adding one of those little acrylic holders to Little Free Library also opens it up to someone else just stuffing something in there, making it sort of that kind of a promotional idea. I have no problem with putting neighborhood resources in there. And I see this as a resource as opposed to a promotion. And I think that's maybe what we should be looking towards. Like, how can we provide the neighborhood with more resources? And that's basically what these little free libraries have turned into. They're resources. So I think anything that turns into a resource for the neighborhood, I am all for it. Anything to inform our neighbors with whatever we need to, more than happy to do it. Just that idea of promotion, I think is the problem for me.
Well, are you thinking of a little brochure that has a lot of up-to-date resource contact information? Or are you thinking of a postcard? What are you envisioning?
The idea is that we realize that many of the neighbors, stakeholders, because there's a constant influx of people moving in and out of our footprint. Some of them are not aware that a neighborhood council exists, let alone what a neighborhood council is. Some neighbors might not be aware of what we have accomplished all these years on a yearly basis, and what kinds of, as Nigel was saying, as a resource, as a place where we can be a hub of resources for services. We can be the middle man, between city services and actual and what can be provided to the stakeholders, so we can facilitate that. So all of that is what we would like to incorporate into a postcard, just saying who we are, what we do, and what we can do for the neighborhood, for the community at large.
Oh, so it is a list of resources, or is it more an ad for UNNC?
I'm not sure if you could call it an ad, but it's definitely, it could be a combination of both, of introducing ourselves to the community. So for example, in the past, we've had a message board located in the Washington, Irving, and Jefferson Branch Library, always available for us because we are part of city government. So, and we could display our brochures there. Obviously, with the pandemic, that was not a possibility. For the elections, I asked steward by steward. Some said okay. Some, I don't think anyone really said no. Some were closed like yours. So I mean, in general, I'm personally really grateful to the little free libraries, because when we could not spread the word about the elections, the little libraries helped us tremendously, displaying a lawn sign, displaying our postcards just next to the books. It was really, really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
But if I may, Lizzie,
Yes.
and I think it's not an ad for UNNC as I see it, is more of a resource, because we have a set of funds that we get from the city and we have to do something with those funds. And we try to get the community to come to us with projects to enhance the neighborhood, enhance a block, enhance our community of our stakeholders. And so they would come to us with spending requests, funding requests, and we would go over it and give them the money to do that project in the neighborhood. So it's more of getting the word out that we are a resource that is available to the community.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Laura.
Right, and we could do really just singular, layer it out. We could do I'm going to call it a postcard just because it's small and glossy, but we could do, for example, the libraries, not the little free libraries, but the real 2 libraries are open again and they have programs. Please check it out. So you could stick those cards in. That'd be like 1 month. Or here's a phone number to call. Share it with your neighbors if you still need to get a vaccine, for COVID. And where it becomes a ad for UNNC, which is where we have the logo and our website. So the question becomes, are we not to do a logo and the website? And then the other question becomes, where do we find the funds to print this stuff? But that's a different question at this point. But so I'm sorry, and I have to jump off once again, turn off the video and go back to the door, which is doorbell ringing again. Sorry.
Sure. So anyone, I guess at this point, we're just starting this conversation. Thank you so much for your feedback. But at the same time, I would also like to know, how can we support Little Free Libraries? Our budget has been drastically reduced, but in an ideal world, what would you like, what kind of support would you like from a neighborhood council?
Could I say that, how can we actually support, unless the free library is associated with a nonprofit and it's put actually on city land, like, the walkway, we can't support them because unless funding has changed since the last time I was a treasurer, we can't support anything that is not either a nonprofit or and on city property.
I see.
Can you service events that have to do with the library?
If they're open to the public, there's no requirement that people pay to get in. They're open to the public and not discriminatory in any way, and they're on public property, yes.
Okay, so one thing I did talk to Lizzie about earlier in the year was that we get a big batch, and I just mentioned it, we get a big batch of free books from Santa Monica Public Library. So once a month, during the pandemic, every other month, every 3 months, I go and pick out, not pick out, but they give me, 25, 30 boxes of books. And I go through and actually clean them up and get them out to tons of Little Free Libraries in the area and south of us. And the ones that are kind of crappy, I actually try to get those out too, but sometimes they don't get out to anything.
They fall apart.
Yeah, they fall apart. Or they also, there's a couple areas with very large areas of Little Free Libraries. And so I kind of stuff those in very popular places. There's 2 places in the city. The other thing I've done is give away thousands of books that are cleaned up to the Los Angeles police stations. The police stations, almost all of them have huge Little Free Libraries. And so we stocked those when we realized back in 2019 that those existed. And me and my family gave out thousands and thousands. But what I was headed towards was the fact that I said to Lizzie that I spend a lot of time just cleaning and, cutting out the page that's stamped discard, putting stamps on them where they, where you can't rub it off or you can't cut it, and putting stickers and cleaning them up so that kids can use them again. Hundreds of hours.
Do you only get kids books, or do you get not adult books, but
they just started giving us adult books too. So because Santa Monica doesn't, they usually have a free area. If you've ever been to their main branch, they have a bunch of stocked kind of shelves out in the plaza, and people can take them for free, but that plaza's closed now. So instead they just gave me 15 boxes of adult books, and fully 10 of them went straight to the big, huge library that's across the street from Farmers Market, where there's tons of walk-through traffic. And if I put 4 boxes of books out there in a week, they're gone, no matter what they are. The softcore porn, it's just it's crazy how fast that stuff goes.
Our homeless liaison, she does engagement in the community, and one of the things we are asked for often at homeless encampments, except socks are the things you're most asked for, but books is pretty up there as well. I know that's off the subject, but just saying, because people are bored and they want to read.
If I could connect with you, I'd be so great to be able to get these over into your hands. There's some amazing books, things that are new, and not didn't run through the library at all.
I'm sure I have your email. I'll talk to you off this because I feel like I'm now getting embarrassed by us talking about things not on this agenda.
Okay,
No.
and Laura, did you have a question too?
Yes, Laura, go ahead.
Well, and I'm sorry I had to drop off and come back. So I heard the part about support and then what Dorit said about it has to be a nonprofit, blah, blah. So I'm not sure the context, but, and I don't know, have you worked at all with the Friends of the Washington Irving Library, which is a 501c3? And
No,
well, I was going to say,
Yeah.
many of us have donated books to the Friends because you can't donate books to the library. But the Friends group not only can take them, but they have had in the past a little store in the inside of the library where they sell, but they have way too many books. So again, in effect, the organization through which donations can be made and then out to little libraries, even from UNNC, if there was a funding request, would be that Friends group, because I have books. I know the Jefferson Branch Library also has a 501c3 Friends group. I don't know if that Friends group actually takes donations of books and then distributes them. But the Washington Irving one certainly does.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know how we would connect those. Lizzie might have an idea.
Well, I was thinking maybe this is for the future.
Right.
A Friends of the Little Free Libraries could be established
Exactly.
in order for us to support to be able for us
Right.
or other agencies to be able to support the
Yeah,
little.
but I think technically it wouldn't necessarily be necessary. That's two necessaries in the same sentence. It is okay for an existing 501c3 organization to take on the mantle as called a funder organization for other
Okay.
other entities that haven't achieved 501c3. So that's a smoother and actually less expensive step, because even to create a 501c3, and it's not exactly on topic, but to create the 501c3 organization that's a Friends of Little Libraries would still be a several $1,000 itself adventure.
Well, and what my original note, which maybe I didn't make too clear, was that I don't need funds. I need manpower to help clean these books. So it would be kind of fun to have an event in some fashion connected with another event, perhaps, in which,
Right.
40 people are helping clean a box of books each. And suddenly we've got 1,000 books to give out to little free libraries everywhere.
That could also be done at home, because I know, like, for the nonprofit I belong to, we have people build hygiene kits at home that we then hand out to unhoused folks. So you could maybe have people, because we can't be in the same room together and all that, have
That's true.
a distribution at your house of people who take the books home, their family, make it a family event to clean it and then bring them back to you.
That's possible. Yeah, we could coordinate that.
And it's
Nigel,
probably,
Nigel, you just raised your hand too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Nigel, go ahead.
Is there a chance to do like an outdoor event with kids getting service hours for this? So,
Mm.
because and what would the UNNC would they provide is maybe drinks and snacks, and find rent a space, an outdoor space, or find an outdoor space. So instead of having people take it home and bring it back, it can all get done in a couple hours. Kids get service hours, volunteer hours. This is like the perfect kind of thing I'd use with like high school kids.
Right.
I would.
I gotta go, you guys. I got another meeting, so I didn't want to be rude, but I'll see you guys.
Yes, thank you, Dolores. Thank you for
Bye.
coming. If I may, yes, we definitely, once we are able to hold in-person events, we could definitely work such an event, start working on those, definitely. Laura.
And then
it's
this is my
7:02.
last comment on this. So if
Yes.
it was a need right now, you could, again, to give the service hours, UNNC probably can't sign off on those forms anyway. So you would need to partner with an existing 501c3, but if it's not UNNC's event, we could certainly put it on our, e-blast and on our social media,
Right.
promoting it without any issues. But it couldn't be our event until the city says neighborhood councils can do in-person events again. But again, you know, and any 501c3 could partner to do that, so that the kids could get service hours. So
Yes, definitely. So thank you so much. I know we're over time. I will agendize this same item for the next meeting. We will continue the conversation. I will get in touch with each of the stewards offline and try to get some more feedback offline. But again, I have one more item. I don't know if it's possible to do the approval of minutes, or we ran out of time.
well, is there anybody present?
allow-
Yeah, Lizzie, besides you and I, is there anybody? Well, we're not out of time. We have another 10 minutes.
Oh,
I-
because, okay, so
but-
for the first,
But who's present, who was at the prior meetings?
right, so I have October and December. In October, Dorit was there, you were there, Rosie was
Okay.
there. For the other one, for the one in December, it was you, Joyce, Rosie, and myself. So I think
Oh, yeah.
we
well,
may be able to do it.
If you would like to go to that, I can share.
Yes, please, October minutes.
Yes. And okay, so hopefully I just am pulling up the correct one. Does that look right? Do you see anything?
Could you make it larger, please?
Yes, yes.
I
it's
can.
right now.
I just want to make sure I have what we're looking for.
Okay, if it says October, it is.
It does. Can you
Okay,
see, and
October.
can you see it?
Not really. It's tiny.
Okay.
I have a
Now,
magnifying glass
Yes,
and I can see it.
okay, I'm at 150% now. Can you see it?
Yes, if you scroll down,
I will.
scroll up, however, whatever it would be.
Scroll down.
Yeah. Past introduction.
Oh, I wonder whatever happened to Adriana. Hmm. Okay. Just tell me what to do here.
All right.
I'm done reading. If there is any, maybe we all should just chime in when we're finished reading.
Yeah, I've read it.
Rosie? Rosie, you're muted. If you're there, you're muted.
Oh,
You're not muted now.
you just wanted to get my opinion of this here?
Because I think you were present at this meeting.
In
This is from-
October?
This is from a long time ago. So we are approving the minutes.
Oh, here I am right there. Huh. Yes. Mm,
I make a motion to approve. They look good to me, as much as I can remember.
Yes. And who would like to second?
I can second.
All right, Laura seconds. Thank you. And then we'll have the December now.
Okay, well, yeah.
Should we vote on these since I'm not going to vote on December's?
So we had Laura, Rosie, and myself.
And Dory. So I say yes.
I say yes.
Yeah. Okay. I say yes.
So Rosie,
yes.
beautiful. It's unanimous.
Okay, unanimous. Thank you very much. I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
skipping-
sorry. Now give me a moment because I've got to
Sure.
go. I have to launch this one. Sorry. Okay. There we go. And are you able to see it?
Not yet. Yes, now. Perfect. Thank you so much. So December, it was Joyce, Laura, Rosie, and myself. We were the ones present. So
Does the communications committee have a virtual talent show? That's actually.
It
it did not happen.
did not happen at all.
Sad to say so.
And I did ask the comedian friend, by the way, and he said yes. But,
Okay.
and you know who it is?
Who is it?
AJ.
Oh, that would be fun.
Okay.
All right. So we need someone to move and another person to second, please.
Okay, well, the only choices are you, me, and Rosie. So I will move to approve the minutes.
Okay.
I second.
All right. Rosie seconds and we vote. I say yes.
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 All right. 3 yes votes. Thank you so much. So I would like to thank everyone for attending this meeting, which was extremely productive. We have a lot of material to go through until the next meeting, hopefully in a month. And again, thank you so much.
So I'm
And-
sorry, Lizzie, are you going to
Yes.
move to monthly or sticking to bi-monthly?
No, I think probably monthly because we need time to, yes.
All right,
convert.
so everybody ignore the footnote on this agenda that says the next meeting's in September, since it'll be in August.
Yes. Yes. So yes, let's hope that we'll have an August meeting. And so we adjourn the meeting at 7:41 p.m. Thank you so much.
Thank
Good
you.
night, everyone.
Good
Thank you,
night.
Lizzie.
Thank you.
Right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. See you, Laura, in a little bit.
Are you coming to the next meeting?
Yes, I will.
Okay.